Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Speak English with Olly. Today, we're starting a new episode called A Day in My Life, Going to the Airport. In this episode, we'll walk you through what it's like to travel to the airport and use English step by step.
Yes, going to the airport can feel a little stressful, but if you know some simple English phrases, it becomes much easier. In this first chapter, we'll talk about getting ready at home and arriving at the airport.
So let's imagine it's early in the morning. I wake up, and today is the big day. I'm going on a trip. I check my bag and make sure I have everything: passport, ticket, clothes, and some snacks. I say, I am ready to go to the airport.
That's a good start. Then you might order a taxi or take the bus. For example, you can say, "Hello, I need a taxi to the airport, please." If you're on the bus, you can ask, "Does this bus go to the airport?"
Yes, and during the ride, you might feel a little excited or nervous. You can say, I'm excited to travel, or I feel a little nervous. Simple sentences like this are a good way to practice speaking.
Yes. When you arrive at the airport, you usually go inside and look for signs. You can say, "Excuse me, where's the check-in counter?" Or "Where's the departures area?" These are useful questions when you're not sure where to go.
Exactly. And don't forget to be polite. Starting with excuse me makes your question sound kind and respectful.
So, in this first part of the journey, you have learned how to say you are ready to go to the airport, ask for a taxi or a bus, and ask for directions when you arrive.
That's right. In the next chapter, we'll talk about checking in at the counter, giving your passport, and getting your boarding pass. Welcome back, everyone. In the last chapter, we talked about getting ready at home and arriving at the airport. Now, in this chapter, we're going to talk about checking in at the counter.
Yes, this is a very important step. At the airport, you usually go to the check-in desk to give your passport and your ticket, and then you get your boarding pass. Let's walk through it slowly.
Okay, so I walk up to the counter. The airline staff usually smiles and says something like, "Good morning, may I see your passport, please?" Or, "Can I have your ticket, please?"
And you can answer politely. You can say, "Here is my passport," or "Here is my ticket." Easy and simple.
Yes. After that, they might ask, "Do you have any luggage to check in?" This means, do you have a big suitcase that goes into the airplane storage, not in the cabin?
If you do, you can say, "Yes, I have one bag," or "Yes, I have two suitcases." If you don't, you can simply say, "No, only carry-on luggage." Carry-on luggage means the small bag you take with you onto the plane.
That's right. And sometimes they might ask, "Did you pack this bag yourself?" Or, "Are you carrying any liquids or sharp objects?" These are safety questions. A simple answer is, yes, I packed it myself, and no, I don't have any sharp objects.
Exactly. Then the staff will take your suitcase, put a tag on it, and give you a small paper or sticker. That's the baggage claim tag. You need it later if your bag is lost.
And finally, they will give you your boarding pass. They might say, "Here is your boarding pass. Your gate is B12 and boarding starts at 9:30.
At that moment, it's good to repeat to yourself, "Gate B12, boarding at 9:30. Repeating helps you remember. You can also ask politely, "Can you please repeat that?" if you didn't understand.
Yes, don't be shy to ask. For example, "Can you repeat that, please?" Or, "Can you say it slowly, please?" These are very useful phrases when traveling.
And before you leave the counter, don't forget to say thank you very much. Politeness always makes the interaction nicer.
So let's review quickly. At the check-in counter, you give your passport and ticket, answer questions about luggage, get your boarding pass and remember your gate, and say thank you.
Perfect. And after that, the next step is going to security control, where you show your boarding pass and go through the scanner.
Yes, and that will be the focus of the next chapter. Welcome back, everyone. In the last chapter, we finished checking in at the counter and got our boarding pass. Now it's time for the next step, going through security control. This part can feel a little stressful, but don't worry. We'll go through it step by step with simple English.
Yes, when you walk to security, you usually see a line of people. At the entrance, an officer may ask you to show your boarding pass and passport. You can simply hand them over and say, "Here you go," or "Here's my boarding pass and passport."
Good. Then you will see the security check area. Usually there is a conveyor belt with trays. You put your things in the tray, like your bag, jacket, phone, and laptop. Sometimes you also need to take off your shoes or belt.
The officer might say, "Please put your laptop in a separate tray," or "Take off your jacket, please." You can answer with "Okay" or "Sure." It doesn't need to be complicated.
That's true. And sometimes they ask about liquids. You can only bring small bottles, usually under 100 milliliters, and they must be in a clear plastic bag. If the officer asks, "Do you have any liquids?" you can say, "Yes, in this bag," or "No, I don't."
Exactly. Then, after you put your things in the tray, you walk through the scanner. The officer may say, "Step forward, please," or "Raise your arms." Just follow the instructions.
Sometimes the scanner beeps. Don't worry, it happens to everyone. The officer might say, "Please step to the side," or "We need to check you." You just stay calm and answer politely. Okay.
Yes, very important. Don't be nervous. It's normal. After they check you, you go back to the conveyor belt and pick up your things.
When everything is back in your bag, you can say, "Thank you," and move on. That's it. You've passed security.
So let's review quickly. At security, you show your passport and boarding pass, answer questions about luggage, and walk through the scanner, maybe get checked, and finally, say thank you.
That's right. These short, clear answers will help you get through security without stress.
So now you are inside the secure area of the airport. The next step is usually to find your departure gate, maybe have something to eat or drink, and wait for boarding.
And that will be our focus in the next chapter. Welcome back, everyone. So far, we've gone to the airport, checked in, and passed through security. Now, in this chapter, we'll talk about finding our departure gate and what to do while you wait for your flight.
Yes, after security, the first thing you usually see are many shops and restaurants. But before you buy food or go shopping, it's smart to find your gate. You don't want to be late.
That's right. There are big screens in the airport that show flight information. The screen tells you the flight number, the gate, and the boarding time. For example, it might say Flight BA 123, Gate C5, boarding at 10:45.
If you're not sure where your gate is, you can ask an airport staff member. You can say, "Excuse me, where is gate C5?" Or, "Can you please tell me how to get to gate A12?"
And usually the staff will give you simple directions. They might say, "Go straight and turn left," or "It's upstairs on the right." So it's good to understand these basic words: straight, left, right, upstairs, and downstairs.
Yes, once you find your gate, you can relax. Sometimes boarding starts much later, so you have free time. You might say, "I am hungry. I want to eat something." Or, "I want to buy a coffee."
When ordering food, you can use simple phrases like, "Can I have a sandwich, please?" Or, "Can I have a coffee, please?" And don't forget to say thank you.
If you want to go shopping, you can say, "How much is this?" Or, "Do you accept credit cards?" These are very useful phrases in airports because most shops are international and accept many payment types.
That's true. And while waiting, you can also say things like, I am tired, I want to sit down, or I'm excited for my trip. These are good sentences to practice with your travel partner.
Yes, so to review this chapter, we learned how to check the flight information screen, ask for directions to the gate, order food or drinks, and shop using simple English phrases.
Exactly. And once you're finished eating or shopping, you go back to your gate and get ready for boarding the plane.
Yes, and that will be the focus of the next chapter.
Welcome back. In the last chapter, we found our gate.
Don't worry, it's usually very safe, but it's good to listen carefully. If you want to tell the person next to you that it's important, you can say, "Let's listen to the safety instructions."
After the safety demonstration, the captain often makes an announcement. For example, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board. Our flight time today is 2 hours and 30 minutes. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
That's right. The flight attendants then walk through the cabin one more time to check seatbelts, tray tables, and window blinds. They may say, "Please raise your seat back," or "Please open your window shade."
When everything is ready, the plane starts moving. You might feel the airplane rolling slowly to the runway. At this time, people often say, "We're about to take off," or "The plane is moving now."
And when the engines get louder, it's time for takeoff. If you feel nervous, you can say to yourself, "It's okay, flying is safe." Or if you're with a friend, you can say, "I'm a little nervous," and they might answer, "Don't worry, it's normal."
Exactly. And soon the plane leaves the ground. You are flying.
Yes, and once the plane is in the air, the flight becomes more comfortable. That's what we'll talk about in the next chapter. What happens during the flight and the English you can use while flying.
Welcome back, friends. In the last chapter, we talked about takeoff and listening to the safety instructions. Now, in this final chapter, let's talk about what happens during the flight and when you land at your destination.
Yes, after takeoff, the seatbelt sign usually turns off. The captain might say, "You are now free to move around the cabin." This means you can stand up, use the bathroom, or stretch your legs.
That's right. Soon, the flight attendants often serve food and drinks. They might come to you with a cart and ask, "Would you like something to drink?" or "chicken or pasta for your meal?"
If you want something, you can say, "Yes, I'd like water, please," or "Can I have a coffee, please?" If you don't want anything, you can say, "No, thank you."
And sometimes they give you small snacks like peanuts or biscuits. You can say, "Thank you very much," when they hand it to you.
During the flight, you can also ask for help if you need something. For example, "Excuse me, may I have a blanket?" Or "Can I have some water, please?" Or "Where is the bathroom?"
Yes, those are very helpful. And if you feel nervous, it's okay to tell the flight attendant, "I don't feel well," or "I'm a little afraid of flying." They are trained to help you.
After a few hours, the captain will announce that the plane is starting to land. You might hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our descent. Please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt."
At this point, the flight attendants will check again. They may say, "Please put your seat in the upright position," or "Please stow your tray table."
And then comes the landing. You might feel the plane go down and then touch the ground. Some people clap when the plane lands safely.
Yes. After landing, the captain usually says, "Welcome to Paris," or whatever city you're flying to. Everyone stands up, takes their bags, and slowly leaves the plane.
And that's the end of the journey, from going to the airport, checking in, boarding, flying, and finally arriving.
Exactly. And we hope this episode helped you learn useful English phrases for traveling by plane. Remember, traveling can be stressful, but using simple English can make it easier and more fun.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for listening to Speak English with Olly. We'll see you again soon for another episode. Until then, keep practicing, keep smiling, and of course, keep speaking English.